Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. This week we're going to be talking about laundry tubs, and we'd like to thank Sophia for liking and sharing the podcast. And Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, Book 6, is available on Amazon for a download, and you can download it to any smart device. We'd like to thank everybody who's downloaded a copy so far, and if you get time, we'd appreciate a review. Historians think ancient Rome had one of the first public laundry services that used laundry tubs, and the historian Pliny the Elder wrote about laundry in ancient Rome, and he said most clothes were made out of wool and needed to be washed often back then.
Wow, your two favorite things, wool and Pliny the Elder?
So clothes were initially put in these large laundry tubs filled with water and stomped on by workers, and the water would have clay and urine mixed into it to help clean your clothes. And it would then go to laundry tubs of fresh water to rinse it out, and then the clothes were hung to dry, and the wool, what they brushed it with, was the skin of a hedgehog. Laundry tubs or utility sinks can be just a big open tub with a faucet on top, or you can have a decorative cabinet as sink. And if you have a finished laundry room, you'd probably want to go with a cabinet for storage and a nice sink and a faucet on top. A lot of these will have a pull-out spout.
So is it like a bathroom sink?
Yeah, it looks very similar to that for some of these styles. But many homes, you'll just get if you have your laundry tub in a basement or a garage, you'd probably go with just a simple tub, and it can be wall-mounted or have legs if you're just looking for function. So If you're cleaning up latex paint off of rollers and brushes, or if you're rinsing compound off compound knives, and that would just be joint compound. You'd never want to rinse off setting-type compound in a laundry tub because you'll clog your drains. When you're shopping for a new laundry sink or a tub, check the height, width, and depth of the area, and then think about any changes you're going to be making in the future. Do you plan on changing the washer, the dryer, or the layout? And when you're replacing a laundry sink, this is a great time to replace old supply lines to the faucet and your shutoff valves. In some older homes, you may find soft copper tubing that's connected directly to the faucet without a shutoff valve, or you might have rigid supply lines and they're shaped to fit that exact length perfectly. Most plumbers like the rigid supply lines because they're less likely to leak or burst over time, but most homeowners like flexible supply lines from the shutoff valve to the faucet because they're much easier to install and then replace if you ever need to. The stainless steel braided supply lines are rated the best rather than the inexpensive flexible plastic, and Vermont Mutual Insurance recommends replacing flexible supply lines once every 7 years, and many companies say replace them about once every 10 years. I read an article from State Farm Insurance, and they were talking about the flexible hoses going to washing machines, and they're saying they should be replaced once every 5 years. In their study, a broken washing machine hose can discharge 500 gallons of water an hour, causing a lot of damage.
Yeah, no kidding.
So they're saying replace old rubber hoses with stainless steel braided hoses to your washing machine. Another study I read said 80% of washing machine hose failures were hoses that were 10 years old or less. A report I read on insurance claims and broken hoses and water damage said if an insurance adjuster finds signs of deterioration and corrosion from normal wear and tear on your hoses or supply lines, and it shows that there was lack of maintenance, so you weren't changing it often enough, they can actually deny a claim.
Really?
Which is pretty interesting. So you should read the fine print on your insurance policy. And it's probably not a bad question to ask your insurance company. Should I be documenting every time I change a supply line? If you're replacing your supply lines, you want them long enough to connect without putting stress on the connections. It's better to be a little long than too short.
How do you measure?
So I would measure from the shutoff valve to the faucet and then add 2 to 3 inches and then see the sizes of the supply line. You want it in that range or even a little longer. It's better to have a loop rather than stress on the supply line. So a standard faucet is going to have 1/2-inch IPS threaded pipe at the faucet, and IPS is iron pipe size. So you want a flexible supply line that one side is 1/2-inch IPS and then the other side needs to match your shutoff valve.
Okay.
The most common shutoff valve is going to be 3/8 compression male thread, but it could be 1/2-inch compression. And in older homes, you could have a shutoff valve that's 7/16 compression or 1/2-inch IPS. And you can get universal supply lines that have bushings inside, or they'll have fittings to connect to different size shutoff valves, and check the label, what sizes. Fluidmaster has a universal faucet supply line that is 1/2-inch IPS on each side, and then it comes with 3 bushings to fit any type of shutoff. So you can go from 1/2-inch to 1/2-inch IPS, or you can use these bushings on one side, and now you can go to 3/8 compression, 1/2-inch compression, or 7/16.
Exciting.
If you have an old multi-turn compression style shutoff valve, you can replace it with a new quarter-turn ball style shutoff valve, and it's going to be much more dependable. It's not going to leak or get clogged like some of the inexpensive compression multi-turn valves can. The rubber washer inside, it breaks down and can clog the valve, or the packing or washer under the nut leaks when you turn them on and off. So the quarter-turn shutoff valves can come with a compression inlet, a sweat inlet, a push-fit inlet, or threaded for galvanized pipe. And if you're using a compression-style shutoff valve with PEX, make sure you use a metal tube insert.
What's that?
So this lets the compression sleeve bite down evenly around the PEX so it doesn't flex. It's going to keep it from leaking.
Okay.
For push-fit shutoff valves like shark bite, you want to deburr and chamfer the ends of the pipe, especially if you're connecting push-fit fittings to copper. So shark bite has a deburring tool that measures how deep the pipe should go into the fitting, and then it deburrs and chamfers the end of the pipe. And shark bite push-fit shutoffs can be used with copper, PEX, and CPVC.
What is deburring?
So if you have a rough edge and you push, let's say you have copper pipe and you've cut it and the edge is rough, if you push that into a push-fit fitting, you can actually score the O-ring and cause a leak. So this tool deburrs it, it smooths the edge, and it puts a chamfer, so like a 45-degree cut into the edge, so it can smoothly go into a push-fit fitting.
Okay.
If you need to extend the main water line to change the placement of your shutoff valves, you can get fittings and tubing or pipe from the hardware store that matches your existing pipe. So if you have copper or galvanized pipe. But PEX is becoming much more popular for adding short lengths of pipe to any existing material. If you have galvanized pipe, rather than going to the hardware store and having them cut and thread sections of pipe and use fittings, you can get a fitting that's threaded on one side, and then the other side it has a hose barb. You can put a length of PEX into that hose barb and use a crimp ring and connect it like that. Or you can get a threaded fitting that's going to go on the galvanized pipe, and then the other side it has a push-fit fitting, so you can just push a piece of PEX into it, much easier than doing it, with galvanized pipe and fittings. For copper and CPVC, you can get push-fit fittings on both sides, which makes it easy to extend. If you're running lengths of PEX to a shutoff and want to use hose barb fittings, there's a new PEX crimp ring, and it's called PEX Lock. It's PEXLOCK, and this clamps down on PEX without special tools. So you slide this PEX Lock ring over your PEX, you put a hose barb fitting into your PEX, and then you clamp this ring tight with a pair of adjustable pliers, and this is going to create a watertight seal that's approved for behind-wall use. You don't need any special tools or a go, no-go gauge.
Outrageous.
I know, it's pretty cool. And if you're extending the main drain for your wash tub, another interesting push-fit fitting is Connect Tight. So it's CONNECTITE, and this is for drain, waste, and vent PVC pipe. You cut your PVC to length, you use a sanding sponge to deburr and smooth the outside of the pipe, and then you push this fitting onto the pipe. You don't need any primer or PVC cement. Space age. If you're extending your PVC drain pipe and you're going to be using PVC cement, you always want to prime the fitting of the pipe before you apply your PVC cement. So the way you do this is prime the fitting first and then put primer on the pipe, and then put a second coat of primer on the fitting. And while that primer is still wet, you want to put a first coat of cement on the outside of the pipe, put a thin coat of cement on the fitting, and then put a second coat of cement on the pipe. You want to push it together and give it a quarter turn and then hold it for a few seconds, and that's going to fuse it together. And check the label. Each cement's going to have its own unique properties and how they want you to do it.
And it stinks too.
Yeah, it's toxic and flammable. You definitely want to do this in a well-ventilated area. When you're extending that main drain pipe to a laundry tub, you want to make sure that there's a trap adapter at the end of that pipe, and that's going to accept the drain pipe coming from underneath the wash tub. So the pipes underneath your sink, that's going to be 1.5 inches outside diameter, and that main drain pipe behind the wall or going to the sewer, that's going to have 1.5 inches inside diameter. So that trap adapter makes that transition between the two sizes.
Okay.
When you're comparing laundry tubs and sinks, you want to check all the parts that are included when you purchase it. Some are going to come with the main drain pipe or sink basket. Some are all in one, and they'll come with supply lines, drain pipe, and a faucet. So I went to my local home center here in the Chicago area, and the salesman that was helping me said the two most popular utility sinks that they sell come with a faucet.
Okay.
One style he showed me was a cabinet style, 21 by 24 inches and 9.5 inches deep, and it came with a stainless steel sink. It included a faucet with a pull-out spout, and the faucet installed in the back corner of the sink. Kind of an interesting look. And that's.
Did you take a picture?
Yes, I did. And the
Are
spout.
you going to put on Instagram?
There you go. Yeah, Fix It Home Improvement on Instagram. The spout on this faucet has a garden hose connector, and it comes with a strainer basket, doesn't have supply lines or under-sink drain pipe. And they recommend using 100% silicone as your sealant under the flange. And I actually prefer stain-free or no-stain plumber's putty. I think it's much easier to install. It's not so sticky. You don't have to be as exact. With 100% silicone can be a real drag.
Right.
So you just take a small amount of it, you knead it in your hands to warm it up, and you create this length, almost like a rope, about 1/2 inch thick, and you're going to put this under the flange of the strainer basket. You're going to put this into the sink, so you're putting this on the top. Underneath the sink, you're going to put your rubber gasket that comes with it. There's going to be a cardboard friction ring, and then you tighten down your lock nut to hold it in place. And you can use adjustable pliers or a sink basket wrench to tighten the lock nut. If you don't have a tool, you can ask at the hardware store or home center. You're going to have tabs on that nut, so you can use a tool that's going to grab those tabs to tighten it down. To prevent the strainer basket from spinning while you're trying to tighten down that nut, you can get a tool called a drain wrench, and this inserts into the opening, and you're going to have 3 or 4 crossbars inside this that this attaches to, and that's going to hold it in place. If you don't want to buy that tool, you can use an adjustable pliers and drop the handles down into it, and that'll help you hold it. Or you can take needle nose pliers and push it down into the opening. And once you tighten up that nut, now you can wipe off the excess putty.
Okay. What are we calling this episode?
Laundry tubs. Although I've called it a lot of different things. I've said utility sinks and laundry sinks, wash tubs.
Okay, so whatever. So the laundry sink with the cabinet, is this like installing a bathroom sink and cabinet?
It's very similar, except a bathroom sink is going to have 1.25 inch main drain body and 1.25 inch drain pipe going to the wall, where a laundry sink is going to have 1.5 inch sink basket. So it's like a kitchen sink basket. And it's exactly a kitchen sink basket or strainer. And under that strainer basket, you're going to connect a short tailpiece with a flat tailpiece washer, and then connect to your 1.5 inch drain pipe with a trap. And you always want to make sure you have a trap anywhere water drains, and that's going to prevent sewer gas from getting into your house.
Okay.
In that laundry tub style without a cabinet, the gentleman who's helping me at the home center said the two most popular sizes he sells is 20 by 24 and 18 by 25. And one he showed me was 20 inches wide, 24 inches deep, and 34 inches to the top of the tub from the floor. It was plastic, and it comes with a faucet with a pull-out spout. And this has a molded drain, so you don't have to attach a basket strainer. It has 1.5 inch thread, and all you have to do is just add a tailpiece and washer, and then your drain pipe. So it kind of makes it simple. Mm-hmm. And the one he showed me comes with supply lines and the P-trap, and the legs are adjustable, so you can level it. And then he also said you can get an accessory for this. So it's called a laundry tub cover. It sits on the top and kind of locks in place, so you can create a workspace.
Yeah.
With laundry tubs, you can just get the tub without the faucet or any accessories. You can get them wall-mounted or freestanding with legs. I would look for adjustable feet. And if you're just buying the laundry tub and you're putting in your own faucet, check the spacing of the holes and your faucet. Most are going to be 2 holes, and it's going to be 4 inches on center.
Okay.
If you have a utility sink pump connected to your old laundry tub and it's about 10 years old, it's probably time to change it before it fails. So I would probably upgrade that while I'm changing my laundry tub.
What is it?
It's like a utility pump, and it's used in areas where the drain pipe doesn't have the proper venting or you have an overhead sewer system.
What's that?
So in some areas, to prevent your basement from flooding, rather than the main sewer line coming out of the bottom of your basement and running down to the main sewer system, the slope down to the main city system starts from the top of your basement. So all your first and second floor drains go directly out to that main sewer and slope down, but anything in the basement needs to be pumped up to the height of that sewer where it leaves your house. And there's 2 main types of utility sink pumps. One that's connected directly to the strainer basket under the sink, and this doesn't need a trap or a standard spacing to a vent stack.
Okay.
The other style is contained in a box on the floor, and then it pumps up to your drain. And with this style, you need a trap under your sink. So a pump that attaches to the strainer basket with a stainless steel basket, it's going to be much more secure than that plastic tub with an integrated threaded outlet.
Are they heavy?
Yeah, I would check to see whether the sink or tub is rated to hold a pump.
Okay.
I've got some top-rated utility sink pumps. Flowtech, it's Flotec, Aqua Pro, AQUA, capital PRO, and Zoller, Zoeller. Some top-rated utility sinks, Musty, Mustee, Cashel, Cashel, and Sterling. Musty has a cover you can get for the top of their utility tubs to create a work area, and they also have a utility rack. And Cashel has an accessory called the Shelfie. So it's a fold-out shelf that attaches to the side of their wash tubs.
Do you have anything else to add?
You can download our new ebook. It's called Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, Book 6, and you can get it on Amazon.
So nothing about the podcast here?
Not really.
All right, let's wrap it up.
You can subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, the Pandora mobile app, or your favorite podcast app.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our books, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, on Amazon, book 1 through 6.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow Cindy on Twitter at FixItCohost, and you can follow us on our new Instagram page, Fix It Home Improvement.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.